Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Crackdown 3 on the Xbox Series X. Crackdown 3 is an action-adventure game developed by Sumo Digital. The game takes place after a major terrorist attack that cuts the power to the entire planet. A sinister corporation known as Terra Nova are suspected of being involved in that attack, which sees the agency send you, a superhuman agent, to infiltrate Terra Nova and bring down the corporation piece by piece. Okay, gameplay. Well, the game is a combination of open world exploration, character progression, combat and fun traversal of the Terra Nova skyline. You start out as a pretty solid agent, but by the time you reach the endgame, you'll be a devastatingly powerful superhero of sorts. How you achieve this is all to do with orbs. As you kill enemies or complete missions, you receive coloured orbs. What colour you receive is dictated by how you killed those enemies. There are unique colours for firearms, hand-to-hand, vehicles and explosives. There are also green orbs that relate to agility, but these have to be found upon the rooftops in hard-to-reach locations. The more orbs you collect, the better your agent becomes at that said skill. And it's the perfect way really to do leveling because it always felt relevant. As you level up, you'll unlock new perks, skills and benefits that will greatly aid you in bringing down the different aspects of that corporation. Speaking of the corporation, it's broken down into different groups or gangs if you will. In many ways, the game has similarities to things like Ghost Recon Wildlands or even Mercenaries. You slowly chip away at different parts of the machine with a view to unlocking a boss fight and dismantling that arm of the tyrannical group. As you explore the game world, you'll find new weapons or gadgets. These range from heat-seeking missiles, shotguns, shock grenades, beacons that can call in local resistance aid, and many other alternatives. The weapons that you choose dictate how you play the game because each one's got their pros and cons. And they do make for a very different experience depending on what you're actually using.
Scorched earth! Escalating to threat level 2. Deploy advanced industry.
In regard to some other stuff, you can drive vehicles with a sort of very cool spider type machine available later on. You can change your agent's DNA, which is essentially their visual style, or as you find lost DNA through the game world, you add to this roster of visual agents. And that's pretty much the gameplay in a nutshell. You know, it's very addictive, it's simple, it's repetitive, but also it's remarkably satisfying as you leap around the city, bringing death and destruction to the evil corporation. It never got dull for me, and it's really a return to form for the series, and I'd say it's much more like Crackdown 1 than Crackdown 2. So everything I've just outlined comes under the campaign, which can be played in solo or in online co-op. There is a second game mode called Wrecking Zone. It's multiplayer, however it did kind of get abandoned and it doesn't really seem to work this time, so I just glossed over it in this review. This review is really just for the solo campaign. Anyway, visually, I'd say it's in keeping with the other games in the series. It's got a sort of clean visual style, flashy effects. Maybe it isn't spectacular, but it's very solid and it's very good in terms of performance. And the sound I really like, you know, from the commander voiceover, the punchy weapons, the explosions, the ambient sound in the city. It really feels like a place. It exists. It's got character. Anyway, what is the verdict? Crackdown 3 might well be the best game in the trilogy, with more in common with Crackdown 1 than its slightly disappointing sequel. The combat is fluid, the superhuman traversal is a lot of fun, and it's also one of the most enjoyable, satisfying and addictive open world combat games that I've played in ages. Yes, maybe it doesn't innovate, but sometimes the formula just works, doesn't it? And with Crackdown, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. The biggest compliment I can give it is that you can sit there playing this game for hours on end and it just keeps you locked in. You're always progressing There's no time being wasted. It's a great game for people with jobs, family commitments, people who cannot afford their time to be wasted, because nothing here gets wasted. Every orb is one step closer to the end. So despite it getting pretty poor reviews at the time of release, I would have to disagree with those reviews. It's a fun game. It's simple. It's check your brain at the door. It's really cool being like a superhuman combat machine taking down a corporation, And also, one other thing to know, out of interest, if you like the idea of this game, Crackdown 1 and Crackdown 2 are actually on the free-to-play library on Xbox. So if you have an Xbox, go to the free-to-play games. You can get Crackdown 1 and 2 for free, and they're really fun games as well. Anyway, scoring, Crackdown 3, I'd give it 8 out of 10. That's the review. Thank you for watching. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Cheers.